Hello and welcome to Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order. This is episode 58. This time I read Amazing Spider-Man number 161, the October 1976 issue. This is another one that I have never read in my life, but have often seen the cover for. This is a fairly famous cover of Amazing Spider-Man, done by Gil Kane and John Romita Sr. This one was quite a surprise, actually, when I got around to reading it. Not just because Nightcrawler was in it, but because two other X-Men were in it as well. And it actually opens with the X-Men. Nightcrawler's reading a page of the Daily Bugle in the Danger Room with Wolverine and Colossus. So I was not expecting to see them in here. So that was quite a nice surprise. But that's basically what kicks the action off. Is Wolverine and Nightcrawler had a little disagreement, so Nightcrawler runs off. But he was reading the Bugle because there were a string of murders happening, and we find out later on that the person that was murdered was a friend of his from Germany, Nightcrawler's friend from Germany, who used to be in the carnival with him. But anyway, then we cut to Coney Island, where Peter and Mary Jane are on a little date, riding the Tornado roller coaster. They have the crosshairs on Peter. So someone is targeting people at Coney Island. Luckily, it's not our heroes, Peter and Mary Jane. And also, we find out that Harry Osborn and Liz Allen are on a date with them. It's a double date. See, if I had been a little more eagle-eyed, I would have recognized Harry Osborn's hair on the roller coaster behind Peter and Mary Jane. But there's Harry Osborn and Liz Allen right behind him. They go for a Nathan's hot dog, and while they're having their hot dog, another assassination happens. Someone is shot. So of course, Peter runs off using the excuse that he's going to get some pictures for the Bugle, which ticks off Mary Jane because this is becoming a habit with him. He changes, and at the same time, Nightcrawler has arrived on the scene. He witnesses the same murder. He discovers the rifle, the sniper rifle, which of course makes Spider-Man think that Nightcrawler's the killer. So they have a little tussle. Nightcrawler's trying to hold onto the rifle for evidence. He thinks Spider-Man's the killer. He finally uses his mutant power to Bamf teleport away. He gets away from Spider-Man. Spider-Man uses his connection, Robbie Robertson at the Bugle, to get some more information about the snipings. They're overheard by J. Jonah Jameson. Great Gadfrey. 2 pages of ads in a row. So this apparently is where J. Jonah Jameson discovers that Spider-Man has a connection to Peter Parker, because he overhears Spider-Man tell Robbie that he will allow Peter Parker to take some photos if he finds out any more about the sniper. And now we find out that Jonah, after he finds out that information, has these pictures of Spider-Man and Peter Parker in the same photo. Now, I don't know if this was just kind of a surprise this issue, or if this was something that happened in an older issue. I don't know. But I wonder if this has something to do with the Clone Saga. The Jackal who created clones of Spider-Man and Peter Parker and blah, blah, blah. I don't know, but we'll find out later. Anyway, now on to our second special guest star, the Punisher. See, this is the Punisher, the original Punisher. He looked to me like an old man. He had that kind of very distinct haircut, which they kind of did away with once he got popular in the 80s. But He murders a bunch of mobsters trying to get information about who's doing the killings as well. Everybody's trying to figure out who's doing the snipings. And apparently whoever's doing these snipings must be impersonating the Punisher to frame him. So that's why the Punisher is trying to figure it out. So he's on the trail as well. Now we get back out to the trolley, whatever it is, Roosevelt Island Tramway. And that's where Spider-Man heads next. And then since... oh, that's right. A few pages back, I forgot to mention, Nightcrawler noticed that Spider-Man had been taking photos of their fight. And Nightcrawler, since nobody knows about the new X-Men yet at this point, he wants to keep their existence a secret. So he goes back looking for Spider-Man and takes Spider-Man's camera because he does not want any evidence of the new X-Men to get out. So that's why he came back to find Spider-Man. He takes the film out of the camera and tosses the camera back at Spider-Man. Says he doesn't want to fight. He just doesn't want him to have the film. And but of course they do fight. Spider-Man's so mad that he hits Nightcrawler too hard, knocking him off the tram tower. But he teleports back up. They continue their fight. Nightcrawler doesn't really want to fight him, but Spider-Man, of course, is pretty upset now because of the camera thing, understandably. And while they're fighting on the tramway, the Punisher shows up. And he suspects that one of those two is the person framing him for murder. So that's where we leave off in this issue. This copy's in pretty nice shape, except for I don't know if you can see it on here, but there's two pieces of tape. There's a piece of tape there and a piece of tape there. It reminds me like somebody must have maybe thought they put this in a bag and just put tape where you would put a tape if you would put a comic in its protective bag. And there's a strip there and a strip there. I don't dare tear them off because it'll probably ruin the cover if I do at this point. Who knows how long those pieces of tape have been on there. But that's really the biggest issue with this issue. No pun intended. It's got some stress marks down through here, which aren't terrible, but overall it's very nice and solid. Pages aren't even that yellowed. Nice and heavy still. This is another tale by Len Wein. And Len Wein was writing the X-Men right off the bat, so that was why he was able to get the X-Men in here, I imagine. It was this would have been shortly after his couple issues he wrote, bringing the new X-Men into play. Maybe a year or so prior to this, earlier in this 76, or maybe it was 75. I can't remember now, but within a year anyway, Len Wein had written the new X-Men. So it's interesting. He got to pull them into this issue, and Nightcrawler's in the next issue as well. So these two issues have the X-Men in them by Len Wein. Ross Andru, of course, with Mike Esposito doing the amazing artwork, and Linus Wein, Len Wein's wife, doing the coloring. Great artwork from Len Wein again. But yeah, this copy's in really nice condition. It's going into the permanent collection. So yeah, that's my look at Amazing Spider-Man 161. So if you're new here, I'm reading my collection of Marvel Comics in publishing date order. And I've pretty much just gotten started. Like I said, this is only episode 58. I've got a long ways to go. As we get into the 80s, I'll have more titles. So it'll take me longer to get through the months at that point. But stick around if you want to follow along with me as I read through my Marvel Comics in publishing date order. Comment down below if you have any extra tidbits of information or want to correct me if I got anything wrong while I was going through there. Otherwise, like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate you watching. See you next time.